The 18 ordinary household items in today's video could determine whether your 72-hour food supply is actually useful or just sits untouched on the shelf. The power goes out at 8:17 p.m. The pantry is full of canned food, but the can opener needs electricity. Both hands are carrying buckets of water, but you still need to hold a flashlight. There are plenty of cleaning products under the sink, but mixing the wrong two can create toxic gas. That is how a family with enough food for 3 days can still find itself stuck on the very first night. The difference does not necessarily come down to a $1,000 generator. It may come down to a few dollar items you walk past every week. And the final 3 items will determine whether most of the rest of your supplies can be opened, used in the dark, and handled safely when the power and water stop working. 18. Permanent marker. When everything is in the house, but no one knows what it is, so the common mistake is taking pills out of their blister packs ahead of time and dumping them together into bags. In the dim light of a power outage, those bags look exactly alike. Similarly, an unlabeled container of utility water could cause a family member to accidentally use water that has not been treated. Starting today's list is a $2 item that helps turn your emergency supplies into a clear information system. A permanent marker helps you manage your resources without electricity or the internet. With just a few words, everyone in the family will know exactly what is inside the container. When was it stored? When does it need to be checked or replaced? And who is supposed to use it? Instead of guessing in the dark, use a permanent marker to write the fill date on a water container, or label a bag of dry food with the name of the food and the date it was packed. With medication, always keep it in the manufacturer's original packaging. Then use the marker to write the user's name and expiration date on the outside storage bag. When phones lose service, leaving written notes on the door or marking a route and meeting point becomes an important backup communication method that helps family members find one another. Choose a marker with ink that resists smearing and moisture once dry, with a fine point for writing clearly on dry plastic, metal, or glass surfaces. Black provides the highest contrast, while red should be reserved for danger warnings. Stock at least 3 to 4 markers and keep them in several locations: the kitchen drawer, first aid kit, and emergency supply bin. But what happens when an item that has been carefully labeled suddenly tears, comes apart, or needs to be secured immediately? Number 17. Safety pins. The smallest item creates the most options. A broken jacket zipper is not a major problem on an ordinary day. But during a winter power outage, that small failure can let cold air in and significantly reduce your ability to stay warm. The real value of preparedness lies in how many options you still have when the things around you start breaking down. With an extremely high usefulness to weight ratio, safety pins often appear in field kits precisely because they can create so many quick makeshift solutions. When a zipper will not close, a few safety pins can hold the edges of a jacket together to limit drafts. During first aid, safety pins can help secure the outer layer of a bandage. Just make sure the pin is always fully closed and never let the sharp point touch the skin. You can also use them to fasten a blanket snugly around a young child. Attach small items to a backpack strap so they do not get lost. Or pin a strip of brightly colored fabric to a tree branch to mark a route. Choose stainless steel safety pins instead of thin, soft pins that bend easily. A pack of around 50 in multiple sizes usually costs only a few dollars. Divide them among your first aid kit, car, and emergency bag, or pin 5 to 10 of them inside the lining of a bag so they are ready whenever you need them. 10 safety pins are not just 10 small pieces of metal. They are dozens of repair options when familiar items begin to fail. 16. Dental floss. Nearly 50 yards of cord in a container smaller than the palm of your hand. A typical container of dental floss in the bathroom holds nearly 50 yards of nylon thread. Yet few people think of using it as an ultra-compact source of cordage when fabric items get damaged. Unlike safety pins, which only provide a temporary hold, dental floss combined with a sewing needle creates a more secure repair. It has fairly good tensile strength for its slender size. You can use dental floss to re-sew a split seam on a backpack, repair a tear in thermal clothing, temporarily replace a shoelace, or hang small, lightweight LED lights overhead. When you need more strength, braiding 3 or 4 strands together will significantly increase its load-bearing capacity. Choose unwaxed floss because it provides more surface friction, helping knots resist slipping. Even so, you should check beforehand that the floss fits through the eye of the needle in your household sewing kit. Keep in mind that the strength of floss can vary significantly by brand, and it should never be used for heavy load-bearing tasks. At around $2 per container, this is a repair supply with an exceptionally high length-to-weight ratio. Stock about 3 to 4 containers and keep them in your sewing kit, your car's glove compartment, and your emergency bag. But what happens when the thing you need to control is not a torn seam, but the heat escaping through a window? 15. Heavy-duty aluminum foil. Not just for wrapping leftovers when the power grid suddenly goes down, the role of aluminum foil in your kitchen immediately stops being just a way to wrap food and becomes one of the most flexible shaping materials in the house. Unlike regular thin foil, which tears easily when folded or shaped repeatedly, heavy-duty aluminum foil is far more durable. Its sturdy structure allows you to bend and press it into shape multiple times with less risk of puncturing it. In an emergency, you can quickly fold it into a temporary tray, cover tools that need to be kept clean from dirt and dust, or shape it into a small funnel for pouring dry materials and small amounts of utility water. The greatest value of heavy-duty aluminum foil lies in its ability to help manage radiant heat. Physically, the difference between the shiny side and the dull side is not very important. The thickness makes the material less likely to tear during use, while its thermal effectiveness depends on placing the reflective surface next to a suitable air gap. When positioned correctly, aluminum foil helps reflect some radiant heat, such as blocking intense summer sunlight or limiting heat loss in winter. If you use it on a window, check the instructions for your home's type of glass before attaching it. A flat sheet of aluminum foil can also serve as a reflective surface for signaling for help in sunlight. A roll of heavy-duty aluminum foil costs around $5. Stock at least 2 heavy-duty rolls in a dry place, one in the kitchen drawer and one in the emergency supply bin. This is a simple, inexpensive heat management tool that you can add to your home right now. 14. Plastic wrap. The layer of air matters more than the layer of plastic. Plastic wrap itself is very thin and has no significant insulating properties. The secret that allows plastic wrap to help keep a room warm is its ability to create and hold a layer of still air between the glass and the living space. When winter arrives and cold air begins slipping through gaps around the window frame, you can stretch the plastic wrap across the inside of the frame instead of pressing it directly against the glass. This technique creates a sealed air gap that helps limit direct heat transfer and reduce drafts. To do this effectively, wipe dust and moisture from the window frame to improve adhesion. Stretch the plastic wrap tightly across the entire inside of the frame and seal all the edges securely. Inspect the seals visually and feel around them with your hand to check whether any air is still getting through. Check again after a few hours, because the tension may cause the edges to peel back slightly. Keep in mind that this method works best on small windows or for sealing localized gaps as a temporary solution. Household plastic wrap cannot replace a dedicated window insulation kit, and you should never seal any window designated as an emergency exit. A large roll of plastic wrap costs around $3. Keep 2 rolls in a dry place away from high heat, one in the kitchen and one in the emergency supply bin. But once the room is less drafty, how do you find the right documents, medications, and small items when everything is mixed together in the dark? 13. Ziploc bags in multiple sizes. Turn a pile of supplies into a system you can navigate, having all the necessary items, but being unable to find them in complete darkness is essentially no different from not having them at all. Stress and urgency will turn a disorganized stockpile into a useless pile of stuff. Ziploc bags are the backbone of a system for organizing and protecting your supplies. Dividing items among 3 standard bag sizes allows you to create an extremely orderly sorting system. Gallon-size bags are suitable for protecting copies of important documents, first aid supplies, and a few small pieces of dry clothing from moisture and splashing water. Quart-size bags help organize medications in their original packaging, small electronic devices, or batteries with their terminals covered to prevent short circuits. Meanwhile, snack-size bags are perfect for storing covered blades, safety pins, and tiny accessories that are very easy to lose. To increase protection for documents or electronic devices, use the double bagging technique by placing the items in the first bag, pushing out all the air, and sealing it tightly. Then place the entire package inside a second bag with the 2 seals facing opposite directions. Do not forget to use a permanent marker to write the item name and packing date on the outside. Keep in mind that household Ziploc bags cannot withstand prolonged submersion, and never use bags that once held chemicals to store food. A box of Ziploc bags costs between $3 and $5, depending on the size. You should stock at least 1 full box of each size in your emergency supplies. Organizing items in Ziploc bags keeps your supplies ready to use. 12. Baking soda. When bad odors are a sign of a larger sanitation problem. During the first few days of a disruption, accumulating garbage, damp shoes, and toilets that cannot be flushed will quickly make the air inside your home feel suffocating. The foul odor is a clear warning that sanitary conditions in your living space are deteriorating. Baking soda is a highly effective dry cleaning tool. Unlike air freshening sprays that simply use fragrance to cover odors, baking soda chemically interacts with mildly acidic or alkaline odor-causing compounds to neutralize them. You can sprinkle the dry powder directly inside shoes to reduce odors. Sprinkle it at the bottom of a household trash can, or add it to the container of a temporary toilet to help control smells. Keep in mind that the powder only helps control odors and cannot kill germs or treat waste. When water is limited, baking soda combined with a little water and a soft cloth can help scrub residue from pots and pans through mild abrasion before they are rinsed with a minimal amount of water. Test it on a small area first to avoid scratching sensitive surfaces. And remember that baking soda is not a dedicated moisture absorber and does not kill bacteria like specialized disinfectants. Each box of baking soda costs only around $1. Instead of keeping just 1 half-used box in the kitchen, stock at least 6 unopened boxes. Place them all inside a sealed container or bag and store them in a dry location. But if the next item can remove mineral deposits while also creating toxic gas when mixed incorrectly with bleach, what rule do you need to remember before opening the bottle? Chapter 11. White vinegar, useful but dangerous when combined incorrectly. With an acetic acid concentration of around 5%, white vinegar is a useful household cleaner in many homes. Its mild acidity helps dissolve mineral deposits on tools, remove light grease stains, and assist with hand-washing clothes when utility water is limited. Vinegar is also used in tested food pickling recipes with the proper acidity to extend shelf life. However, vinegar is not a dedicated disinfectant that kills every type of germ, and its acidity can damage natural stone surfaces or sensitive metals. The most important rule when stocking white vinegar is never to mix it with bleach or other cleaning products on your own. The acid in vinegar reacts with the sodium hypochlorite in bleach, releasing chlorine gas. Chlorine gas can cause eye irritation, coughing, difficulty breathing, and severe lung damage, especially in enclosed spaces. If you accidentally mix them or notice an unusually sharp odor, leave the area immediately and move into fresh air. Never attempt to neutralize the mixture, and call for medical assistance if you experience symptoms of discomfort. A gallon of white vinegar costs around $3 to $4 and has a very long shelf life. You should stock about 1 to 3 gallons, depending on the size of your household, and keep it in a dry corner completely separate from the area where bleach is stored. Chapter 10. 70% isopropyl alcohol. A higher concentration does not automatically mean better. When standing in front of the store shelf, most people choose the bottle of 91% alcohol because they assume the higher number will kill germs more effectively. However, for certain compatible hard surfaces, 70% alcohol may be more suitable when used according to the directions on the label. The difference lies in the amount of water in the solution. 70% alcohol evaporates more slowly than 91% alcohol, helping the surface stay wet long enough to work effectively. To achieve the intended results, first physically remove dirt and debris, then apply the alcohol and make sure the surface remains wet for the contact time listed on the product label before allowing it to air dry. Isopropyl alcohol is also a useful solvent for removing adhesive residue or light grease from compatible tools. If using it on electronic devices, only do so if permitted by the manufacturer's instructions. Completely disconnect the power. Do not spray it directly. Apply only a small amount to a soft cloth for wiping. Avoid ports and openings, and wait until the device is completely dry before turning it back on. Keep in mind that isopropyl alcohol is highly flammable. Store it in its original bottle in a cool, well-ventilated place, away from heat sources and out of reach of children. Never use it near candles or cooking stoves during a power outage. A bottle of 70% isopropyl alcohol costs a few dollars, depending on the size. You should stock about 2 to 3 bottles with your household supplies. But when you need to handle waste or clean up a mess and cannot wash your hands immediately afterward, how will you protect them? Chapter 9. 2 types of gloves. One for dexterity, one for dirty work. In a home where the water supply has been disrupted, your hands are the shortest path for bacteria and hazardous chemicals to cross-contaminate your body or food supply. In just a few minutes, the same hands can clean up waste, touch a doorknob, and then prepare food. That is why you need to stock 2 separate types of gloves for 2 categories of tasks that cannot replace each other. Disposable nitrile gloves, choose one suitable for first aid or food contact, are intended for tasks requiring cleanliness and a high degree of dexterity. These gloves must be removed immediately after the task is finished, and dirty gloves should never be worn into a clean area. Meanwhile, thick household rubber gloves are intended for heavy-duty tasks such as handling garbage or scrubbing. Make sure to check the cleaning product label to select gloves compatible with the chemicals being used. Removing disposable gloves requires precision. Grasp the outside of the first glove at the wrist, peel it off inside out, and hold the removed glove in the remaining gloved hand. Then slide your bare fingers under the cuff of the second glove and peel it off over the first glove. Always wash your hands thoroughly after removing gloves. A box of 100 disposable nitrile gloves costs around $8 to $12, while thick rubber gloves cost a few dollars per pair. Keep at least one box of disposable gloves and 2 pairs of thick, reusable gloves in your emergency supplies. Wearing gloves helps prevent cross-contamination, but gloves can never completely replace hand washing when it is available. Number 8. N95 respirators. The number 95 means nothing if air leaks around the edges. No matter how advanced its filter is, a respirator becomes less effective if the air you breathe slips through gaps around the bridge of your nose and cheeks. An N95 respirator does not work like an ordinary face covering. It depends entirely on forming a tight mechanical seal against the wearer's face. When disaster strikes, respiratory hazards may come from widespread wildfire smoke or fine dust during cleanup after storms and floods. A NIOSH-approved product provides a minimum filtration efficiency of 95% for airborne particles under standard testing conditions. However, an N95 only filters particles and aerosols. It does not protect you from toxic gases, chemical vapors, or oxygen-deficient environments. A standard N95 respirator usually has 2 straps that go around the back of the head. When putting it on, use both hands to press the metal nosepiece firmly against the bridge of your nose. Then perform a seal check according to the manufacturer's instructions. Keep in mind that facial hair prevents a proper seal and significantly reduces protection. Replace the respirator immediately if it becomes damp, dirty, damaged, the straps stretch out, or it can no longer form a seal. A box of 20 certified N95 respirators costs around $15 to $25. Stock at least 1 box for each family member and store them flat in a dry place to prevent their shape from becoming distorted. But when smoke and dust are no longer the only threat, what material will help you patch and hold together the parts of your home that are beginning to come apart, tear, or let drafts in? Duct. High-quality duct tape. A repair material is only useful while the adhesive still works. A roll of duct tape left alone in a car trunk through several scorching summers may still look intact. But when you peel it off during an emergency, the adhesive inside may have degraded, turned runny, or dried out, leaving it completely unable to stick. The quality of the reinforced backing, a strong adhesive formula, and proper storage conditions matter far more than the number of cheap rolls you keep in storage. High-quality duct tape can stick firmly to many surfaces if they are cleaned and dried before application. In an emergency, duct tape can temporarily patch a tear in a tarp, reseal the outer packaging of food, or temporarily hold lightweight broken parts together until they can be properly repaired. If you use it to temporarily secure cracked glass, wear gloves, avoid touching sharp edges directly, and isolate the surrounding area. Duct tape is also the final link that seals the edges of the temporary window draft blocking system, made from aluminum foil. 15. And plastic wrap. 14. Discussed earlier. Test the tape on a small corner first to avoid peeling paint from the window frame, and never seal an emergency exit window. For storage, keep duct tape in a cool, dry place away from sunlight. One field trick is to wrap 5 to 6 yards of duct tape around an old plastic card or pencil to create a compact, flat roll. A high-quality roll of duct tape costs between $10 and $15. You should stock at least 2 to 3 rolls and keep them in different locations. 6. High-quality plastic tarp. A temporary cover can stop damage from spreading. After a major storm, a broken tree branch can tear an opening in the roof. That hole may not cause the house to collapse immediately, but rainwater seeping in will damage the drywall ceiling, reduce the effectiveness of the insulation, and create conditions for mold to grow if the materials are not dried in time. A plastic tarp cannot replace professional roof repairs. Its job is to provide a temporary protective layer that prevents secondary damage from spreading while you wait for emergency service. When choosing a plastic tarp for heavy-duty outdoor tasks, look for one that is 8 to 10 mil thick, has built-in UV protection, and features securely reinforced metal grommets at the corners and along the edges. When stretching the tarp, distribute the pulling force evenly across multiple grommets using tie-downs. Never place all the tension on a single grommet. Beyond covering a roof, a plastic tarp can also serve as a wind barrier around a porch when securely anchored under suitable wind conditions, or as a moisture barrier on the ground. For safety, do not climb onto a roof yourself without the proper equipment, experience, and safe conditions, especially when the roof is still wet or winds are strong. Prioritize professional services. A high-quality plastic tarp costs around $15 to $25, depending on the size. You should stock at least 2 tarps in different sizes and store them in a dry place. But when cleanup produces small branches, wet materials, and heavier than usual waste, what kind of bag will handle the job better than a thin kitchen bag? Number 5. Contractor bags. Thicker, tougher, and less likely to tear than kitchen bags. A regular household trash bag will quickly burst when filled with compacted household waste or branches from storm cleanup. That is when you need contractor bags, specialized supplies for isolating waste and protecting your belongings. The key difference is thickness. While kitchen bags are only around 0.7 to 0.9 mil thick, contractor bags are 2 to 3 mil thick or more. When shopping, carefully read the mil rating on the package instead of relying only on the word contractor. This toughness helps prevent the bags from tearing when they hold small branches, wet materials, or damaged belongings. You can use them to wrap dry clothing to reduce exposure to splashing water and moisture, isolate dirty items, or line a plastic bucket as a temporary waste collection bag. Even so, contractor bags are not completely puncture-proof. Sharp glass edges, exposed nails, or excessively heavy bricks and rubble can still tear the bags and cause injury. The tied opening can also leak under heavy pressure, so the bags only provide water resistance and temporary odor control, rather than replacing specialized packaging. A box or roll of 20 to 30 contractor bags costs around $15 to $20. Stock at least 1 unopened box with your emergency supplies and store it in a cool place away from heat sources and sharp objects. 4. 5-gallon bucket with a lid. The central container that connects sanitation and storage tools. If contractor bags are the tough outer layer, then a sturdy 5-gallon plastic bucket is one of the most versatile containers in the home when the water supply and drainage systems fail. A plastic bucket helps you carry utility water from a relief station, store dry supplies, or support a waste collection bag. However, the most important safety rule is never to use the same bucket for conflicting purposes. Assign each bucket a clear task and label the outside with a permanent marker. 18. A bucket for clean water must never be used as a temporary toilet or trash container. Also, the number 2 symbol on the bottom only identifies the material as HDPE plastic. It does not mean the bucket has been certified as safe for direct food contact. To directly store drinking water or dry food, you must choose a new, clean bucket labeled food grade and equipped with a tight-fitting lid. Avoid reusing old buckets that once held paint or industrial chemicals. Keep in mind that a bucket full of water can weigh up to 42 to 44 pounds, so do not fill it completely if you cannot safely lift and move it. A 5-gallon plastic bucket with a lid costs around $5 to $10. You should stock at least 3 to 4 clean buckets and stack them to save space. But what good is a bucket full of canned food if the only tool available to open it requires electricity? 3. Manual can opener. A small tool that solves a major problem. A well-stocked supply of canned food becomes useless if an electric can opener cannot operate during a power outage. That is when you need a mechanical can opener powered entirely by hand. When buying one, choose a hand crank model with metal gears and large handles for easier operation. Compact military-style openers such as the P38 or P51 are also small and extremely durable backup options. However, these mechanical tools require practice beforehand and careful handling to avoid cuts from sharp can edges. They must also be stored safely so the cutting blade does not puncture other supplies. After each use, wash and dry the tool completely to prevent rust. Maintain the rotating mechanism according to the manufacturer's instructions, using a protectant that is safe for equipment that comes into contact with food. A quality hand crank can opener costs between $5 and $10, while compact P38 openers cost only around $1 to $2. You should stock at least 2, one in the kitchen drawer and one with your emergency food supplies. Always test the opener's mechanism before placing it in storage. Chapter 2. Headlamp and backup battery freeing your hands in the dark. During a power outage, trying to hold a flashlight while sewing torn fabric, opening canned food, or treating an injury is extremely inconvenient. A handheld flashlight is still a useful backup light source, but a headlamp offers a major advantage by leaving both hands free to work. A headlamp directs the beam wherever you turn your head. Choose one with multiple brightness levels, including a 50 to 100 lumen setting that works well for household tasks without blinding the person in front of you. Priority features include a red light mode to preserve night vision, a common USB-C charging port, and simple controls. Add a 10,000 to 20,000 mAh power bank to recharge the light. Check the device regularly and keep it away from heat sources. Keep in mind that young children should be supervised when using headlamps to prevent them from shining the light directly into someone else's eyes. A good headlamp costs around $10 to $20, and a quality power bank costs around $15 to $30. Equip each family member with their own headlamp and keep them by the bed, in the emergency supply bin, and near the exit. But when health officials instruct you to disinfect water that may be contaminated with microorganisms and you cannot boil it, what household item can become your last resort backup? Chapter 1. Unscented household bleach. A backup option when no safe water source remains. When health officials warn that the water supply may be contaminated with microorganisms, prioritize bottled water or boiling whenever possible. But if neither option is available, unscented household bleach can become a backup method for treating water, as long as you choose the correct product and measure the dosage accurately. For the ratios below, use only unscented liquid bleach containing 5% to 9% sodium hypochlorite. Do not use scented, splashless, gel, or color-safe bleach, because these products may contain additives that are unsuitable for treating drinking water. First, filter the water through a clean cloth or allow the sediment to settle. Then pour off the clear water from the top. For clear water, add 8 drops of bleach per gallon, or approximately 3.8 liters. If the water is cloudy, colored, or very cold, increase the amount to 16 drops. Stir well and wait at least 30 minutes before drinking. The treated water should have a slight chlorine smell. If it does not, repeat the dosage and wait another 15 minutes. Bleach only helps treat certain pathogens. It does not remove heavy metals, fuel, pesticides, or toxic chemicals, and it is less effective against certain parasites, such as cryptosporidium. Never mix bleach with vinegar, ammonia, or any other cleaning product. Bleach loses potency over time. Keep 1 to 2 bottles in their original packaging. Mark the purchase date. Check the expiration date, and store them upright in a cool place away from sunlight. Separate from food and other chemicals. Also, prepare a clean dropper. Label it clearly, and use it only for measuring bleach. The 18 items on this list cannot protect your family from every disaster. Their value lies in solving very specific problems, finding the right medication in the dark, keeping both hands free, opening food, managing waste, and treating water when essential services are disrupted. But buying all the supplies is only the first step. A stockpile is only truly useful when every item is labeled, organized, and stored properly, and every family member knows where it is, how to use it, and what its limitations are. Check your kitchen and storage area today. Identify the household items you are missing, test them before storing them, and check them again periodically. Practical preparedness does not begin with fear. It begins with eliminating each small weakness before it becomes a major problem.